highly educated people in the state, the second highest educated state, workers, the second highest worker level in the state is in Cobb County. So we're going to attract people that new businesses that complement our existings. For instance, Lockheed. Now, would it make sense if you got Lockheed here to go after a train manufacturer? But it would make sense to go after aerodynamics and anything associated with space and aircraft. We have one of the best leading healthcare systems, Wellstar. Would it make sense to go after a plumbing company? No. It makes sense to go after people that are in bioscience and those things. So we've targeted very clearly what it is we're going to go after. That takes advantage of our workforce, creates opportunity for them, and helps existing business grow. So my job in economic development is to make an environment where individuals can pursue their quality of life, where businesses can grow and hire more people with the least amount of restriction. And that's what's economic development. And the competitive edge is our work over a year to set that plan in place. Because here's what I just want to, if we do what the competitive edge says, here's our performance matrix. We're going to secure 6 to 8 new businesses locate with at least 50 employees a year. We're going to reduce the poverty rate from 11.4 to 9.4. We're going to increase the young professional population, which is 25 to 34, from 14.7 to 15.5. We're going to reduce the number of commuters on Cobb roads by challenging and recruiting 300 businesses and 2,500 employees to try telework or some other method of alternative commute. We're going to increase per capita income 15%. We're going to reduce unemployment from 9.1 to 5.5. We're going to increase the percentage of adults with bachelor's degrees or higher to 47.5, making Cobb County the most highly educated county in Georgia. And we're going to conduct 100 site visits to existing industries to help them figure out how to grow. And we're going to acquire and redevelop 3 to 5 blighted properties per year through a land bank. Those are specific targeted goals that anybody with any common sense could say, if that's what this plan will deliver in 5 to 10 years, we need to move there. We need to do that. And that's what we're doing with the competitive edge, because there's results that have been quantified. So when you get ready in your business, in your life, in your goal for a job, we began with the end in mind here, but make sure you understand what you expect in 5 to 10 years when you're done. And make sure they're measurable, because once they're measurable and you continue to work for them, that's when success happens. Don't just get in your car and hope to get there. That's not going to work. Now, that's one of the things I'm working on, economic development, competitive edge. I'm also working on a strategic plan for Cobb County. We haven't had one in 20 years. Again, you'll see a theme in my thoughts this morning. My thoughts are about planning. A strategic plan outlines a vision and a direction for Cobb County. What do we want it to look like in 5 to 10 years? 10 years as a goal, 5 years more specific. And we collectively got together and decided, what do we want Cobb County to look like? And we're setting the plan in place that measures on a yearly basis what needs to be done to get there. And we're going to evaluate and analyze every single year. So the 2 accomplishments I got coming on right off the bat is I got the economic development coming out of the board with the competitive edge and our strategic plan, which will be done in 45 days. The other thing we need to do is the citizens oversight. They presented this, as you recall, I told you we got about 12 people together, asked them to go through our organization, find out what it is that they liked, didn't like, and what the recommendations were for improvement. This was their final report that they presented yesterday. It's got about 100 to 150 recommendations in it. My staff is going to spend the next 30 days going through each one of these to see which are feasible to implement immediately and which are long-term, should be shifted to our long-term goals. And then within the next 45 days, we're going to implement this program to the fullest extent possible, given our current parameters and financial obligations. This is, again, another planning tool that I'm using. So I'm bringing these things all together. And last but not least, this July, how many are registered to vote in the state of Georgia? Most of you. This July, when you go to the primary, you're gonna be asked to support or turn down the transportation referendum for the 10-county metropolitan area. Have anybody heard about that? It's been called the TIA, it's called the TSPLOST, it's called the transportation referendum. It's basically asking you whether you want to tax yourself 1 penny for 10 years to pay for infrastructure improvements around the Atlanta region, 10-county Atlanta region. What the legislators did last year is broke the state into these different regions, and one we are involved with here is the 10-county Atlanta metropolitan region. And basically they came up, their job was then I was on the round table. I was one of the guys that had to come up with a list of projects. And I'm going to tell you this, most people think that I just pull projects out of the air. We were required to pull projects off existing project lists. And there are more projects that need to be done in the Atlanta metropolitan area than a 10-year 1% sales tax will ever create on its own dollar for dollar. The reason I like a SPLOST or a sales tax is 30% of that money, 30% of the funds raised through a sales tax is paid for by people that don't live in the region versus property tax. If property tax were to fund 100% of all my expenditures, that means the burden is 100% on the people who live here, right? But if I'm able to balance that with another revenue source like sales tax, where 30% of that money is people from Bartow, from Chicago, from all the people visiting. Remember I told you tourism was our #1 industry? So they're coming to Cobb County. So 30% of the sales tax in Cobb County is collected every year come from folks that don't live here or rent here. How many of you guys are renters? Now a little bit of your rent goes to property tax, right? Obviously. But you're spending more, you're paying more into sales tax than you are in rent. So I'm getting you. I'm getting you. And I'm coming forward with a proposal, by the way. I'm going to ask Cobb County, probably this November, if they will allow me to impose 1 more cent on their sales tax. And we, by the way, have the lowest sales tax in the region. I'm going to ask them 1 more cent, but I'm going to roll back your taxes. So if you're a homeowner, those taxes we showed about in here, I'm going to roll those back so you won't pay for it. So basically, you're going to save money if you're a homeowner in Cobb County because you're not paying sales tax and you're paying on consumption. So you control it. You control it. And for most people, they pay less in sales tax on an annual basis per household than they do in property taxes. So I'm actually saving you money and I'm taking advantage of the people that are here transient in terms of their values. But the referendum you're going to be asked to vote on July 31st for the region, if let's say in Cobb County we turn it down, if the region goes forward with it, we still have to do it in Cobb. Now I told you I was on the round table. I think we have a good project list. I think it warrants support, not only for the sheer dollar investment in our infrastructure for transportation, but also for this. There is a 4-to-1 return on investment. In spending approximately $8 billion for the more than 150 projects, the region receives more than $34 billion back in gross regional product by 2040. There'll be 200,000 additional jobs supported. We invest and create the support. It's going to be the modeling showed that by 2024 the investment will create or support an additional 200,000 jobs. 2/3 of those are high to mid-paying sectors. There'll be 34,000 construction jobs, 9.2 billion in travel time savings, and 18 billion increase in regional personal income. Those are the intangibles. So as you invest in transportation, it's not just the fact that you're improving a roadway, not to mention that you're getting a 30% discount because it's being paid for by 30% of the folks outside, but it has a trickle down effect in terms of being an investment. So it's not just about the penny, it's about the net effect overall. So I just wanted to give you a 40,000. I told you as a politician I could talk forever. 40,000 foot view. What I do budgets, I manage policies and policy and vision for the county. I make certain that the services are provided at a fair and reasonable cost, at a level of quality that you're expecting and want from us. I'm working on a strategic plan. I'm working on an economic development plan. I'm working on implementing cost-saving measures, and I've also recently worked on this transportation program. And that's what I do in a basic day.